Hello dear students, I am Zilala Safarwa, the teacher of English Literature Department. Today's topic is functional vocabulary. This theme is taught in the subject communicative vocabulary. As you know, from this subject we usually try to get new vocabulary and learn their usage in oral and written speech. So first of all, what is functional vocabulary? As you know, there are some groups of vocabulary in English language that are used for specific purposes. We call them functional vocabulary. They can be different types of functional vocabulary in a language. Let's get introduced with some of them. For example, permission and prohibition, complaining and protesting, apologizing and forgiving, agreement and disagreement, complimenting and praising. Now, we are going to speak about the ways of complaining and expressing disagreement politely and effectively. First of all, dear students, let's get introduced with some verbs of complaining, protesting, and remonstrating. Look at this table, please. While learning this type of verbs, please pay attention to the prepositions which come with them. The first verb is complain about. The meaning of this verb is express dissatisfaction or annoyance. The noun form is complaint. Second verb is protest about. It means strongly express complaint, disapproval, or disagreement. And the noun form is protest. Pay attention to the fall of stress. The next verb, object to. It means be against something or someone. Noun form is objection. Remonstrate against. This verb is formal and it means complain to someone or about something. Noun form is remonstrance. Find fault. It comes with preposition with. Find fault with. The meaning of this verb is criticize or complain about even small mistakes. And the noun form is fault finding. The next verb, grumble about. The meaning is complain in a quiet but angry way. The noun form is grumble. Gripe about. This expression is informal and the meaning is to complain continuously. Noun form is gripe. Grouse about. This is also informal verb with the meaning to complain usually very often. And the noun version is grouse. And the last verb, whinge about. Also informal verb and the meaning complain persistently. When we want to use this verb as a noun, we can use the words whinge or whinging. So, dear students, these words and expressions will help us communicate more effectively and in more diplomatic way with others, both in personal context and professional context. Now, look at this exercise. Try to check your knowledge. In this exercise, you should use the verbs or nouns which we have learned with you. And for these sentences, you should use one of the verbs. For example, what is Janet whinging about now? So as you see, here we have used the preposition which comes with the verb whinge. Try to do all these exercises. Now let's turn to the levels of complaining and protesting. Dear students, the level of complaining differs from culture to culture. Why? because some people are very careful for choosing the expressions for their complainings because they don't want to offend their interlocutor, as they are very polite people. Some cultures can use informal ways of complaining. It's normal way for them. Now let's get introduced with the ways of complaining and protesting. So as you see, here are some expressions that are useful when complaining. Note that formality and strength of complaint also depend on the speaker's stress and intonation. The expression listed as neutral here may be more informal if the speaker uses a particularly heavy stress or intonation pattern. Let's get introduced with some of them. Look here, I have just about had enough of. Or, honestly, you can't possibly do that. Next one, for goodness sake, I'm fed up with. You have got to do something about. As you see, dear students, all of these expressions are very informal, and when we use them, we can offend or embarrass our listener. Let's get introduced with the neutral expressions. It just won't do. I wish you wouldn't, or I wish you would. Something will have to be done about. I'm not at all satisfied about. And the third type is formal expressions. I wish to complain in the strongest terms about. I take great exception to. I really must object to. This is most unsatisfactory. You see, these expressions are more polite and they make our speech milder. So, dear students, as you know, British English speakers often complain or protest in a rather indirect way. They are also very polite people and very careful for choosing appropriate words for their speech. For example, look at these expressions. If a British speaker says, "It's a bit chilly in here," in reality, he wants to say, "I wish you'd close the window." Or, "Your son would be well advised to work a bit harder." The speaker wants to say, "Your son is very lazy." Look at the next one. "Your work would benefit from some proofreading." So, the speaker's intention is to say, your work is extremely careless. Her appearance is not her highest priority. The meaning is she's scruffy. And the last one, the children tend to be a bit noisy. So in reality, the speaker wants to say, you can't hear even yourself speak. So it means children are making noise. So, while complaining or expressing disagreement, we should always avoid negative adjectives if we want to seem mild and polite, and we should replace these negative adjectives with positive ones. For example, let's say you went to a restaurant and you were not at all happy. You were extremely dissatisfied with the situation. You should start in a mild way using milder words. So changing negative adjectives with positive ones. In this case, we can use particle not with these positive adjectives. For example, so if the place was not clean,